Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Y'all all right? Thank you for tuning in to the Unhinged Radio Show live. It's your girl Tilted Halo, sitting alongside my good girlfriend Karen Sims of Twisted Threads. Karen, how you doing tonight, girl? It's been a minute. I ain't seen you since last year, literally.
Literally since last year. I am doing well. It's a little bit of a recovery. Had a couple of days off, and now just getting back in the grind. But trying to be more refocused with this grind for 2023, because we got all the things to talk about. No resolutions, but we got goals for how far we shall travel on these next 300, and how many more days we got? 362 more days.
364. Is this a
It's,
leap year? Oh no, you
oh,
right.
wait,
360.
I
Girl,
mean,
I'm lost. I'm stuck. I'm
no, not
stuck.
yet. That part. We're in the 23. We're in the odd number. So we got
Oh,
362 more chapters to get.
362.
There you go. So, what you been doing with your first 3 days of the year?
uh Eating and sleeping entirely too much. Like I said, I'm stuck, Karen. I forgot we already what 3 days into this
I
year. Didn't we just get here?
We just got here. So we could be kind to ourselves because we did just get here. And 2022, if that wasn't a year that we needed a nap from, I don't know what was. So I could say I've
Oh,
had my share of naps these last couple of days because, woo, we made it though. Mm.
yeah, we made it. We survived. When the enemy came in to take our lives, God
I
lifted a
lifted a standard.
standard. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm sorry. Oh Lord, we thank God for his grace and his mercy. I know, no, but maybe one person who didn't get run through the gamut in the year 2022. So I personally am happy to see 2022 gone.
God
And
bless.
just like you said, Karen, I did not make any resolutions for
Mhm.
this year. I got goals for this year.
There you go.
My if I was to have any personal resolution, my resolve is this: to just continue to be a better version of me than I was yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, and the day before that. As you already put it out there in the air, sis. Hey, listen, I'm just going to continue to show myself grace because that seems to be working for me. And so many of us, especially those of us here in the Tilted Halo universe,
Mhm.
and especially with the members of the Tilted Halo tribe. Uh, Speaking of which, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to the members of the tribe who are not sitting in with us on tonight. Shout out to that boy AP, the musical masterful dynamo that he is. He
Yes.
out there somewhere making the music magic happen, making the best dad of the year magic happen, somewhere loving on his family and on his folks. And shout out to our sister Audrey Dindy Hightower. She's
Yes.
somewhere in rehearsal
She in
singing the
theater
pull
land.
up,
In theater land. That part.
out there
Oh,
getting it in, continuing to make her mark in the acting world. And of course, Natural D. Now, where is D tonight? She's supposed to be. You think she did
I
like
she gonna
everybody else
run
did.
through. I think she gonna run through the neighborhood. We
Yeah,
not
but
we putting the APB out on for you tonight, so we believe she gonna come through. That's all
no,
I
I think she went to the casino and got caught up
well,
there like we
that casino's
what?
been pretty full. I just want to say because it's been seeing a lot of action from our tribe family, and I don't know what to say about that.
Well, hopefully, she takes her winnings and don't give them back to the dealer and brings her hind parts over here to the tribe to spread her special brand of happiness and joy um, amongst our listeners and amongst our viewers. And to those of you who are tuning in on the replay, thank you so much for your constant, consistent support. We are nothing without you. We do what it is that we do here, bringing you this joy tsunami week after week. Hey, without y'all, we are nothing. So thank you for tuning in. I always like to give a huge fan out shout out. And the first fan out shout out of this year is going to, and I'm gonna give myself a little ghetto drum roll. I don't
I'm
know if y'all hear it or not.
gonna work on that. We're gonna get that by next time.
And we're gonna get me a drum roll. But my special shout out tonight is going to my nephew, the musical dynamo, known as a brother Tevin Moore. That's right. I gotta show love to my baby, my other baby, Tevin Moore. So those of you who are fans and have been keeping up with us here and are a member of our faith community, the Greater Shiloh Church, the Greater Shiloh North Campus. Tevin is our musical director there, and he's a young man. Um, Shout out to his mama, the Herald herself, Miss Terry Moore Smith, the thing down Zion, but it's not about her right now. But thank you for giving birth to this blessed
Yes,
Terry.
yes.
We appreciate Tevin. Tevin, I just want to go ahead and take a moment to say I love you, baby boy. I am so proud of the man that I have got to watch you becoming because you're still becoming. You are an amazing girl dad. The way you love your daughter, I'm telling you, I know it doesn't just make my heart smile, but I know it absolutely pleases the heart of God the Father. The way you love and provide and protect that precious gift.
Mm.
Tevin, you are amazing. I know you've already had the opportunity to walk through so very many open doors. I'm just gonna go ahead and speak it to you right now, my brother. I look forward to the many more open doors that you'll walk through in the year 2023 and in the years to come. You are amazing. You are anointed. You are talented. And you are one of the baddest to hit the keys in the land. So, again, your future is so bright. If I could tonight, I will put on some shades. But if I did that in this moment, I would not be able to see. So I could bring this show to you in the spirit of excellence. So, Tevin, we love you and we got your back. Whenever you need us, you know your tribe family is right champ.
For
Okay?
sure, for sure. Listen, I want you to know you're in good company, Tevin, and it's a wonderful thing when others can speak so very well of you. Why? Because we are showing the others around the circle who might not be in the inner circle how to speak well of you, and then it hopefully is contagious. Because I know you over there speaking well of yourself. So good job on that. Love that. Love it. Love it. Good stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I mean, not for nothing. We've heard so much and we've seen so much, and even now, that our young men are experiencing. And I think it's only appropriate that we take the opportunity, as often as we can,
Yeah.
to uplift our young men and speak positive words of life to them and over them so that they will know, no matter what roadblocks they think they might have hit, God is for them and he's more than the world against them. And they're gonna overcome. And you know what it is. You're a whole life coach, Karen. When
Listen,
you speak to people, it's like giving them a wind beneath their wings.
you have to. You have because there's so many things that will deplete us, and sometimes we don't even know that. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about that, but as we get into it, it's so far that and so deep when it comes to the number of small things that culminate in our lives that sometimes we get blindsided and didn't even know. But it's one of those things that as we are lifting other people up and other people are lifting us up, we could get knocked over, but we not gonna get knocked down. Like you
Come
literally.
on.
And that's
Weebles
why,
wobble, but they don't fall down.
listen, I am built for the weeble wobble. So we're
Come
not even
on,
gonna go
hips.
there. Weeble wobble.
Come
Okay.
on, hips.
My age, we showing up, we don't fall down. And part of that is, if you've ever seen a group of those weeble wobbles together, they will knock into each other, but they ain't gonna stay down. Now they might wobble backwards, but they come on right back up. And that's why it's a funny thing that we could say, but it's why we gotta surround ourselves with good people every single day. We can't take no days off from the good people who are in our life, because literally our life, their lives, our community, and the lives that are in those communities, we depend on each other in ways that didn't even come to our minds to be at the forefront until now. And now, all 2023, that's what I'm about. Uh, it's not even a goal. This is a way of life that we are literally spreading these joy tsunamis, making sure that the people who come in contact with us leave with some joy, some love, and some understanding. We've been doing it all in 2022. So we're going to just step it up a couple of notches in this new year.
I know that's right, Karen. We keep leaving this glitter all up in these streets, and there's always room to distribute more. Because as we're being tried, as we're being tested, what did you say to me? These are our glitter shavings. That's the shavings off our iron. That
Yeah,
we could go ahead and give that out to others as we come and as we go. You know, that's what it's about.
it
You
is.
spoke about the weevils, they might bump into each other, but eventually they come and they stabilize
They do. They do.
and they're able to stand there and be as cute and creative as they were meant to be.
There you go.
So I hate to come up off of so much positivity and joy, but we're going to pick it back up. I want to take a moment and again, we got to continue to speak life and uplift our young men. We know we recently felt the loss worldwide of DJ Twitch,
Yes.
who unfortunately, as it's been reported, took his own life.
Mhm.
And according to his wife and those closest to him, he didn't appear to be struggling with anything. But next thing you know, it's all over the newspapers, it's all over each and every media outlet that he perished from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Now, this is a man who I've heard so many describe as full of life,
Mhm.
always spreading positivity, always spreading joy, no matter the room he walked in. And that was quite evident in a lot of the videos we saw him post on TikTok, Instagram, wherever he went. That is the legacy that he managed to leave for himself, that he was just a joyful dude.
Yeah.
Who knew he was suffering in silence? None of us, right?
It is such an important factor for us to understand what is now being called the face of depression, the face of what does suicide look like, as if it has a so as if it has some type of look that it's only going to look one way. I think one of the things that came out of this is we're going to talk about this in the Merrily down the stream, but Twitch was like really everywhere. Can I just say it? Like, he was a social media presence on Ellen, had a great run over there. And I think it was So You Think You Could Dance. He was in the Hip Hop Nutcracker. I think I'm saying that right.
Mm-hmm.
And so many different things. And it was never that you saw him, how could I put it? He just was that happy dude. He was that happy dude. But happy sometimes comes at a cost. And whether we know all of the details about a person's life, you and I have had this conversation well before we heard that news early mid-December. But it really saddened us because it was like, this is the reason why we're having these conversations. We're talking about seasonal depression, and you led a little bit of that conversation on how these times of years kind of affect us, but also bringing up the fact that for women of a certain age, they start testing your hormones. They want to know, are you close to menopause, and then they'll say, oh, hormones is out of whack, you got to take more of these vitamins, eat more of this food, or maybe you will need some actual medication to kind of balance things out. One of the challenges for our brothers is that if they have low testosterone, a lot of times they're not going to the doctor to be tested for that. They're testing them for everything
Mm-hmm.
else. It might be colon cancer. It might be, all of the things that we're looking for. But not a lot of times do men even know, hey, I need to go and be proactive about this, So not wait until something is hurting or at a place or not functioning the way that you want it to. Anyway, but that we getting ahead of that And having these conversations with our doctors, with our physicians, with our medical team, so that they know, hey, these are the things that I'm experiencing. And don't wait till it's a long term. I'm just not feeling myself. Like, that's the beginning of a conversation that y'all already know. I am not a nice person if I get to that place where I say, I'm just not feeling myself. Like, I try to be happy. Some moments, people still might get told off. The altar is
Well,
available. The altar is available to all of us.
I
Um,
got a red cloth for you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Listen, I'm gonna need a cloth, no matter the color. I'm sure gonna need a cloth. But we get the opportunity to think about, okay, how are things changing in our life? And this is really very important for parents, for spouses, for siblings, for anybody who's in relationship with another person, because it doesn't have to be a huge life event that causes someone to start going through things, or to start showing evidence of mental struggles or needing some mental health assistance. It doesn't take a big life event. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
kids are fine, the house and the bills are paid, and nobody got laid off, but there's still something that's going on. And it is okay. And we recommend that we get the skill set to kind of figure out, how do I have those conversations? I'm not a licensed professional. I'm not, maybe this is what you're saying. I'm not a licensed professional. Karen, I'm not a life coach like you. Karen, I don't know these signs. I just know that there's something that has changed in the life of somebody connected to me. How do I get the information? Well, listen, there's a whole bunch of medical journals. You got information that,
Yes.
we'll share with you here to try to make sure that you all are equipped on when to say, maybe we need to bring somebody else into this conversation. And I know in many of our communities, that's a taboo thing. But listen, we're not experts. If we've learned nothing over the past couple of years, is that we can't all be the experts in everything. So we're going to pull in people who know a little bit more than us and ask the questions. Reach out to your local mental health organizations that are in your area, so that you get to understand what services are available to you as a family. Maybe it's your faith community, wherever it is. It's so much help out here. And that's the thing that I think was the biggest thing for all of us, where it was like everybody literally said, but I would have helped him. I would have done. Now we get the
Yeah.
opportunity to take this tragedy and figure out how we equip ourselves for future conversations, and still bring positivity into it, because we
Yes.
literally are talking about how do we maintain good lives and the lives of the people who we love.
Right. So check it out. You're talking about making sure that we're equipped. You yourself recently just completed the mental health first aider certification course,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
And I know I had the privilege of completing that course. What was that? 8 hours for you too?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And 8 hours straight. So when we sit here and we
Actually,
tell
more
you
than
that we
eight
are
hours.
here,
It's
ooh,
more than
girl,
eight
yeah.
hours because we have pre-work, and then I think we have, well, I guess
Yes, the pre-work.
we had pre-work, then it was another maybe 6 hours with bathroom breaks. But I can you talk a
Yeah,
little bit
we got
about
the
your
little break it up.
yeah.
Yes, with the mental health first aider course, again, we're equipping ourselves to be exactly who we say we are. When we say that we're here to listen, listen. Again, we had pre-course work. Then we sat our hind parts in this training that included breakout sessions with people that we ain't even know.
Hmm.
I believe I was the only person in that training course from the state of New Jersey. Everybody else was from Florida, fresh out of college, from what it appeared to me. So here I was, this little social worker, just trying to make sure when we went right back into the office after the world opened back up, I was prepared
Yeah.
to handle the calls from the people who are experiencing lack and calling with fear and anxiety. I needed to be able to hear it. And
Yeah.
that's one thing so many people had said after we lost Twitch, the way we lost him. If
Hmm.
I had known, you need to be so in tune with the folks around you that you're able to identify the signs.
That
their
part.
behavior will change. You know,
Mhm.
case in point, I always like to use myself as an example, and I'm grateful for our friendship, Karen, where over the years, you yourself, you know me so well. When I fall into a certain level of silence, I know first thing you do is you start to pray for me. But then at the moment when you know it's okay, you reach out and make sure that I'm all right. And I am comfortable enough with you where I just let it all fly, honey. In our conversations, you already know it could be whatever. I'm going to tell
Whatever.
you how I'm feeling, when I'm feeling it, exactly how I'm feeling it. I might describe to you the color it is, you know, that it's making me feel. Because y'all know I'm a yellow girl,
Yes.
and I like my bright pinks, and I like my colors. Shout out to my blue lipstick. But when I go into I'm not feeling it, my clothes say a whole lot about me.
Mm.
If you know me, pay attention. My clothes will tell you if I get to start to wearing a whole lot of black and gray, y'all might want to check on Keita. She ain't got a pop of color and nothing she wearing. I want to check on Keita. But this is something that you're equipped to do. You're equipped, you listen. And it's something that I've said in time the lines. Hear
Yeah.
between what I'm saying. And you know, again, you laid out different scenarios of people going through different changes and transitions in their lives. And I
Mm-hmm.
had the opportunity to share a little bit of what I was dealing with on one of our recent broadcasts. And then I hopped my hind parts over to Faith and Fashion 360 with host Brianna Afosu and shared my own personal battle with seasonal depression.
Love it.
Seasonal depression is not simply limited to summer,
Right.
spring,
Right.
winter, and fall. Seasonal depression is also relative to the different seasons of your life that you're
Yes.
walking
Oh,
through. Now, look, can I go there, my sister?
hey, listen.
For me right now, you know, it was a seasonal thing that I had to rock through again. This is my first season as an empty nester.
Mm.
Yeah,
Woo.
girl, my first true season as an empty
Yeah.
nester. And it was different. Now, mind you, I made sure I kept myself busy before the child left the house. And I'm in this, that, and the third. And good God, does it look like I have time to sleep? But it I didn't know, I didn't feel the impact of
Mm-hmm.
her not being here just because I was out of the house. I did not feel the impact of her not being here until she actually wasn't.
Mm.
Until she actually wasn't. It was like, wait a minute. I miss this little knucklehead girl. That's my baby. I'm used to
Listen.
seeing her shuffle down the hallway half asleep because she's not a morning person, growling good morning. And you know, as she passed by, I had to, it was something I had to get used to. And then
Mm-hmm.
I had to get intentional about making sure I don't just sit up in my bedroom. There's
Yeah.
a whole lot of other rooms in this house that
Yeah.
I've begun the habit of making sure I go sit my hind parts down in the den and watch the TV downstairs and
Mm-hmm.
have my dinner on the little TV tray, or the way the house is set up, I can sit at my kitchen table and still see the TV if that's what I feel like doing. We go through seasons in life that will shift the way we are dealing with our own emotions.
That's right.
And what we want to do right now at this point in the show is make sure you all know that it is okay to talk about your emotions. It may seem difficult sometimes. It may make you feel really, really, really uncomfortable, but find that one safe place. Lord, I'm so glad I got a Karen. Find that one safe place where you could just let your hair down if it's natural. You can let your weave down, or you could just straight take it off and have a conversation, ladies and gentlemen, because y'all wearing toupees and hair plugs too, just like we are these days. Let your hair down.
Yeah.
Make sure you have that one somebody. Now, I'm grateful. I got more than just Karen. Shout out to Dr. Lamar Renee Spencer. Shout out to Free Little. Shout out to our missing sister, Naturelle D. We
AB.
have okay, we still got that APB. We ain't synced you. and they ain't respond, you better not be on a milk carton by the time this broadcast is over, okay, girl? Oh, I'm sorry, I had to go there. But yes, be available. Be so in tune with the people that you care for, that you just know. And even when you can't say a word, when you don't have a word to offer of comfort or solution, the ministry of presence is really real. And
Yeah,
sometimes that's all a person needs, is
yeah,
to know that they're not being judged, is to know that you're simply just there, allowing them to be them as they process through the moment.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's something.
Yeah, so
That's
it's a
something.
whole lot. It's a whole
It
lot. That
it really is, and one of the things that you hit the head on is the benefit of being present, because here's one of the challenges that many of us, and you've talked a little bit about it, is what we miss. So I also know, because I'm a friend, I know that there are cycles. And so I'm okay with, literally, I knew exactly where to find her the beginning of the year. And I was like, I wonder if she gonna switch. No, she ain't gonna switch up. She done this same thing for probably about 7 to 10 years. So there are certain things that you have to be okay with being okay. I don't know how I got here. Listen, I got the whole listen, why they going? Let me go ahead and act up while they going. Okay. Well, wait, they coming back now, but I'm gonna be all right. See, now here's the fun with all of this. I was acting up like they gone. Let me go ahead and
I
act up.
saw you. You thought I was gonna leave
With
you
the
out here wailing by yourself for too
with the
long?
problem is that you gotta know the cycles of your friends, of the people who you are in relationship with, of the people who you call family. This ain't no just, oh, he acting funny because he not telling me what I want to hear, but is they're acting funny because some of y'all act funny normally. Let me say that.
Well,
But when you start acting a different way, so we want to be careful to say, listen, know the cycle of your friends. If you know that, in the fall, I got one friend who only called me during the holiday time. I have somebody else who calls me because they know holidays are a little bit difficult. And now I'm accustomed to contacting them as well. Hey, it's about that time. You all right? Just want you to know I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for you. And then just randomly, because we don't know when people are going through, go ahead and give yourself the opportunity just to check on people. We would hear people say, check on your strong friends. Check on all your friends, okay?
all
Because
of
you
them.
may not know which ones are so strong that you never knew they were strong because they never told you the things that they were going through. Many of us have been raised in families and households where they like, you better don't put our business out there in the street. And you don't know what they now as adults are carrying around as trauma because they've never been accustomed to being able to release themselves fully, as Tilted already mentioned. Let your hair down, laugh a little, watch a goofy movie. Get some of these kids movies is a little ridiculous, some of them. That's all I'm gonna
Listen,
say for that. But ain't no shame in my game. Alfred and I will watch a cartoon movie in a minute and crack up in here
Encanto.
like, listen, okay. I think he's a little bit tired of Encanto right now,
Oh,
but trying to think who else. Super Pets is another one that I think he enjoys Super Pets a little bit more than me. But that's all I'm gonna say on that. Let your hair down. Let your hair down.
let your hair
Speaking of
down.
hair, is anybody knocking yet? I'm still looking. Let me
I
see.
don't even see her on the camera.
I don't
I
know.
think I see her coming up the road.
Okay, we're gonna see. At least I think she left the casino, so I'm happy about that. That
She done
means
left the
I
casino.
think she left the
Um,
casino.
and
Yeah.
I think in her travels from the casino, she's having a bit of a technical difficulty. I think her camera, she might have left it at the coin machine. So we're gonna let her in the room.
Child, I
We
don't know what is happening. Now my laptop is saying it can't find the camera. Y'all pray for my laptop. The retrograde done got it.
It's the new year. Every year it got to go through an upgrade of some sort. So the camera was left in 2022. I don't know what you did in 2022, but it said, I'm not coming.
I
That's
don't
what it
know.
said.
I don't know what upgrades happen because every time it upgrades before the microphone will be missing. Now the camera's missing.
It's that whole new year, new you. It wasn't sure which side it should go on. So now the new year, new you, it does switch sides now. Listen, we here for a little while, y'all. We got commentary for the whole time, so don't worry about it at
It's
all.
all good. At
Yeah,
least she could be over there eating some chicken and won't nobody see her eating some
that's
chicken.
true. That is true. That is true.
Listen,
Shout out to my boo who bought some chicken and fries today because I was just, whew, child. Listen, this going back to work after a holiday. We can have a
Girl.
whole segment on that. Be like, I need to be rich and be, I don't know what it is. Well off, what's the word for it? I need somebody else to pay my bills so I don't have to. That's what I need.
I know that's right.
So I don't have to. That's all I got to say on that.
Because I be wanting to keep all, I want my gross pay. Let's start there.
Ooh,
I want my gross pay, not my net.
can
that
we?
part.
I feel like that should be a whole segment. Naturelle D, what you feel about that gross pay?
I'm completely on that side.
I just feel like I could show up as the actual rich auntie if they gave me my gross. I'm
Yes.
just saying. I could be the and Naturelle, I know you can feel me on this. Like we would come through as the actual rich auntie if they
Girl.
just give us our gross pay. I mean, I'm all of the things y'all know about the rich aunties. I'm gonna be all of them in one
All
person.
of them. Just
All of them.
fancy. Just fancy.
All up fancy. And I'm like, a rich auntie, we buying stuff that the regular aunties ain't buying, So the
No.
kids gonna be laced. They got the latest whatever shoe. I would not know. Let me say this right now. I don't
Just
know who
yeah.
name y'all wearing. Y'all point me to the right direction when I go into the store because I know nothing about shoes. Okay. I don't know nothing about the video games either. I don't know nothing.
I'm
Okay.
lost there.
I got nothing. But if it light up and make noise, I'm a
You
find.
got that.
I
Rich
got it.
auntie vibes.
You gonna get two, one for the upstairs and one for the downstairs.
Rich auntie vibes all day,
Rich
every
auntie
day.
that's all I want for 2023.
Okay, well,
That's all.
d-
That's all I
that's
really want.
why that's why Naturelle D camera not working because she won with the rich auntie vibes for real, for real.
I believe it. I'm gonna go on that side. She done went to the casino and actually won enough money to be official on the rich auntie side, and that's what
You
had happened.
see
I think
see all
so.
the swag in her avatar picture?
Yes, listen.
That's all the rich auntie vibes,
Yes,
Natural D.
that
Thank
is
you.
I
that
try.
is that is definitely
So look, moving right along. We've had a wonderful conversation on mental health. And again, huge loss to all of us as we lost Twitch. I want to move the show forward a little bit. I did not necessarily write this down. Y'all know how I do. We're gonna bring up that segment. I was today years old.
Wait, I gotta find it. I had one too. Y'all know it's a new
I
segment.
was,
So I never thought about
yeah,
it until you brought it
yeah,
up.
I was today years old. I was today years old when I found out that the first mobile device to be called an iPhone was made by Cisco, not Apple. Did y'all know that?
I was today years old.
Remind me.
Y'all, the first mobile device to be called an iPhone was made by Cisco, not Apple.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was today. Now I'm gonna keep it going. I'm gonna take it a little further. It allowed the user to use the voice function of Skype without a computer. Now check it out, because y'all know the Apple versus the Android battle has been going on for at least 5 years that I'm
Oh,
aware
sure.
of. So check it out. Apple
Wow.
announced its own product just 22 days later, and Cisco sued for trademark infringement. The
Okay.
lawsuit was ultimately settled out of court, and both companies were allowed to keep using the name. However, you've probably never heard of the Cisco iPhone. Now, let me get it started. since we've been in this Apple versus Android beef for years, and probably will be for many years to come.
We will.
We've been saying it forever. All of us Droid users, y'all already know. Apple, y'all using our technology.
Oh,
Samsung technology.
oh.
But y'all were not the first to do it. So look, I'm happy with my Galaxy, my Droid. And I shall and forever will be. Why? Because I ain't never heard of us getting sued for copyright infringement, trying to claim something that wasn't ours. But y'all do it every single day and charge people $1,500 a pop. Let me drop my mic.
That part.
That's
Oh, I'm sorry. Huh?
That's definitely a mic drop moment.
Yeah. I was today years old. You y'all got anything to add to that?
I got to go back into my coffers because I was probably a week ago. I was today years old moment when I learned that it is illegal in certain city and township ordinances across the country to have your car running. You know how we go out when it's cold, it's like we're gonna we're gonna go out there and start the car. Not for the ones who got a starter. I'm talking about those who you gotta go to the car, put the key in the ignition, turn it on, and then you run back in the house and do other things while the car is warming up. Well, it is actually illegal in certain city ordinances for you to leave your car running with the key in the ignition. And I was like, that's interesting. So if you got it started, I'm sure that's why most of those starters got real popular on newer models of cars, because we still have the need to not go out there in that freezing cold and start that car up. But yeah, don't leave the keys in the car.
Listen, I'm quite familiar with that one there, Miss Karen. And I know I remember when they instituted that law here in New Jersey. It was, I think, primarily because New Jersey Drive. Shout out to Newark, East Orange, Jersey City, that whole area of North Jersey.
That had cameos in the movie. That's all I got.
Oh yeah, they did a whole movie called New Jersey Drive, and I think the people who like to warm their cars up with the keys in their car were a huge part of the carjacking and stolen car problem that was going on around the time that movie was released. Because you walk away and you think you're right there, not realizing that Slick Willie them is faster than you could ever be. They're gonna get in your car and be gone.
That part. I'm too paranoid. You're not gonna catch me slipping. I will be in that car with the doors locked, okay?
Shivering.
Shivering.
That long.
I'm not a shivering one, but I would have like 2 sets of keys. So one I put in, I thought I was doing something, but it's always interesting where you at and whatnot. Yeah. That's why I thought I had moved down here to North Carolina, so I would have to do that list. And then, some one of y'all left the door open and let all that cold air come down here and whatnot. And it was like, wait, what is going on here? Take this stuff back up north. Come get y'all stuff.
No. Canada sprung a leak.
Yeah, well, they still leaking, but I'm proud to say we are back to respectable weather down here. Because I was about to reevaluate. Like, do I need to go further? What am I not south enough? Tell me. I don't know.
Right? Listen, so yeah, I was today years old, y'all. It's a segment. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Unhinged Show live. It's your girl Tilted Halo, sitting alongside my good girlfriend Karen Sims of Twisted Threads. And of course, we've welcomed into the room an avatar star tonight, the lovely Miss Naturelle D. Shout out to them rich auntie vibes, girl. Listen, we're gonna keep the show moving. We're gonna keep it chugging. Listen, what time is it? We fitting to go. Where's my remote control? Wait.
Uh-oh.
All right, it's almost time to point your remote control at the TV screen. Merrily, 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 find something to stream. And I'm pitchy tonight, y'all. These allergies with the weather changes. This is about 60 degrees up here in Jersey today. But allow me to digress. Naturelle D,
Yes, yes.
what you been watching on these streaming streets, girl?
Y'all know I had to deep dive into the best man final
Yes,
chapter.
hallelujah.
I thoroughly enjoyed. They hit so many topics and topics I didn't expect that I would be thinking about because I think since the characters were in their 40s and I'm around the corner, and I said, who invited some of these issues? Who opened that door? Who decided to open up that door? So I appreciate it because it's halfway kind of sort of on time, but I'm not claiming it in Jesus' name. It's got to go back. It's got to go back. But I loved it. I personally need more on Jordan. I would love to see her character developed a little further as far as the wrap up is concerned. But I thought they hit a lot of issues very pertinent to um, not only us, but just life in general.
Yeah.
But I appreciated it, and I thought they wrapped it up very well, considering it's what 20 years later from the original. Like, so I thoroughly enjoyed.
That is true. I feel like I want to add some commentary to that because we got to see up close and personal a little bit more of Mars Chestnut than I don't recall ever seeing in any other movie.
Yes.
Go say that. However, hallelujah. Talk to your mama, not me. But I thought it was very interesting. And I agree with you on the thought of wanting to know more about Jordan, but even the evolution of each of the characters, because y'all know
Mm-hmm.
20 years is a lot. And I think they covered the majority of the years of sort of like from I guess college all the way up until their professional careers. Great to see professionals and the journeys that they had to take. I think a lot of times we don't think about, is it work or family? How do you do both? Terrence Howard just play his part so well. I
So
love him.
well.
I promise. Just an amazing actor. All of them, and they brought through such excellence with the little kids and the comedic return that each of the characters came, and even the synergy that they had with each other within their relationships. But a lot of, and this might have been me, so Naturelle, you tell me if you saw this too. A lot of focus on the challenges that our brothers have.
Yes.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and coming from a male focused view on the different ways that each of these men tackle something within their life. And I got to tell you, it was like a moment like, I need some paper and pen. Wait a minute now,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yes.
to see I just was floored. Great writing, great directing, great everything. Yes, I wanted more. I do appreciate the fact that they did it as a series and not just the 2 hours, because ain't no way they would be able to tell all of that. But I think that even Robin's character
Mm-hmm.
and what she went through, there is still some deep dive that needed to happen with that,
Yes.
because there are a lot of women of that certain age bracket that understood the unspoken. They understood the unspoken. But then there's a lot of people, like, that was in my mind. I was like, nobody don't really understand what that means, to say, I'm standing by my man. I'm supporting you in your career goals, but I also feel like I got left behind. And so really putting that to the forefront as we talk about marriages and relationships, and whether you're thinking about it or you're in it, how do you prepare yourself to make sure I'm gonna support him while he get his, but I can't lose myself in the process. So again, that might be just personal for me because I'm right here. Like, We ain't doing all that. I'll change the last name, but y'all still gonna get Karen when I come through that part. So good writing, just amazing. I hope they don't wait another 20 years.
Yeah, I think, yeah, but this is allegedly it for
I
for
believe so.
for
That's so sad.
for them. And we're not gonna get no more.
That's,
But again, everything, all the things that you both said, ain't nothing else I really need to add to that conversation. I thought it was done exceptionally well. And I did that thing in a day. You take
Same.
all of that. I did that thing in a day because we were waiting for it. And again, shout out to Black Excellence, all on the screen, all on display. And even though there was conflict in certain relationships, they managed to resolve them peacefully. And when Tay Diggs' character was going through, it was really, really good. It was awesome that we
yeah.
were able to see. The brothers showed up with them
Yep.
cards like they did every week. They didn't stop. They didn't allow him to stop and just sit there on that couch
Oh,
eating cookies, chicken wings, and cakes,
mhm.
thinking shoulda, coulda, wouldas. No, they went to see about their brother and snatched him up in a way that he was most comfortable with. Again, to have the conversations, to give him the opportunity to say what needs to be said, so that he can continue to move forward in his own greatness. Shout out to the writers and shout out to the directors. I too absolutely enjoyed that series. I had hopped on over to Harry and Meghan and them because I wanted to know some of the dirt, and the behind the scenes, that led them to pulling themselves out of the Windsor royal vicinity, so to speak. Um, yo, they just put it out there, didn't they? I really enjoyed how they gave us a bird's eye view, so to speak, on how their relationship started, how it was established. And I really, really enjoyed the fact that this man, this prince, this duke, okay, gave it all up to protect his woman's mental health. Because that's what it all boiled down to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a whole lot of women and men in marriages alike don't know what it is to have that level of support from their spouse. But we saw, the movie Coming to America when Prince Akeem was on the subway coming for Lisa, and he was like, "I will renounce my throne." Well, Harry legitimately renounced his
Literally.
throne
I think he
for
watched.
Meghan.
I think he watched the episode of Coming to America. That's just me, but
Brother renounced his throne. I was like, okay, okay.
I'm coming through with the
Y'all
red
know,
cup on this one. So
you
that's all
come
right.
through with that red cup. This is definitely a red cup conversation, Karen. He renounced his royal throne. They done moved up off the continent. And I actually learned a little bit more about what their Commonwealth situation was about and how that has been established and how it has been diminishing over the years. And to see the insight they shared about how many African Americans were brought over and began to truly thrive in the British culture. That was something that I really took a huge interest in that Netflix docu-series. Shout out to Harry and Meghan for putting it out there for us to see and to hear and to witness. Now, we got all them British wags that like to publish their own stank on things, but I hope that now that it's on film for all the world to see, that it brings and sparks the conversations towards the healing that family requires.
Absolutely.
It's not just a need right now. We done laid the queen to rest after her 70 some odd year reign. Now we're left with the family that doesn't have that solid head. Yeah, I said it. That solid head, that leadership that the late queen herself, she did that. Now we got Prince Charles over there, and some of us side-eyeing Lady Camilla, because we know she ain't Diana. We know the drama. because we've ridden through it, over the years with them. We've seen it. So hopefully they'll come to the table and love one another again the way they should be loving on one another, especially during these trying times.
Mhm.
All right. It's
Mhm.
not us common folks, not just us common folks that go through family drama, y'all. We
That's
done
true.
seen the royal stuff live and direct. Shout out to Harry and Meghan. What you got to say about this one, Karen?
I'm a red cupping right now, but I really appreciate the fact that they said while everybody else was getting paid to tell their story, they thought they should have their version of their story. And I thought it was very heartfelt and warming. I see Diana all over Harry. I don't know if I see her as much in William. That's the one, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Um,
that's William.
I don't know why. I don't know why, but it was like this. If we would have had this conversation 20 years ago, I would have thought the outcome would have been the same. With him seeing what happened to his mother, knowing how he grew up, and not wanting that life when he saw his wife start struggle. Because this wasn't an arranged marriage. Let me say this. Like, I think that was the difference. Because honestly, the only thing that I came away with was, well, I don't want to talk badly about the king, but I ain't think too fondly of the king because it was like your son did what you wouldn't. I don't want to say couldn't because I think it was
Mm.
it
Mhm.
was a choice. Like you could have, but you decided that that person was not worth it all to you. Now I get it because he was next in line. Like Harry, no, there's about 10 of y'all before me. So even though he given up, renouncing things, it's a lesser thing to renounce yourself as a duke versus a prince and then a king. And it's
Hmm.
very interesting what I learned because like you mentioned, Tilted, it was more than the love story. I got all caught up in the love story. I think they have an amazingly beautiful love story. One of the things that they really didn't talk about was that a lot of the challenges hit Megan very hard once she got pregnant and was with child. So kind of to me it was like I wish they would have came out there, and she said it a little bit about the postpartum depression that comes as well. I don't think they called it
Hmm.
by name, but they did mention that. The thing is they also allowed the queen to still not look so bad. It was like my mom didn't know what was going on. Like, yeah, she did. She knew. She the queen. She got, but it did also show corruption. I'm gonna call it corruption. I don't care, whatever. If it was a regular family, it'd just be Family Feud and Steve Harvey would come through. But this is the Queen's house, okay? So this is, I think, a little bit of corruption. My prayer for all of them is that the brothers would be able to get back together and get in communication with one another, because I think that's going to really build and strengthen the family, because that's the biggest thing that I think broke down. It wasn't he gave this up or he can't do that anymore. Special fan shout out to Tyler Perry, who came through and said
Yes.
I don't care nothing about y'all and y'all people's over there, but if
Mhm.
you need something, I got you. Like, shout
I
out,
like your boy.
that's it. And he came through like he would, like it. Tyler, we've seen him do that for other people. He shows up as he's led to show up, and he was led to do that. And in their time of need, that kindness that he extended to them, I think went a long way to help them on their healing journey. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Natural D, you down with Harry and Megan? You watching?
I haven't watched it yet, but
Okay.
I think you all have pretty much summed it up and really showed it seems to be an extension of the Oprah interview, pretty much, which is, and some of it, to swing back to William, it's been evident these last couple years that he's drunk the tea of his daddy.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
unfortunately, I think that's not a total lost cause, but I'm with you, Karen, that I really hope that they mend and reconcile their relationship, because I'd hate to see everything that they've gone through as, from being children, from the loss of
Yeah.
their mother, and to seeing that whole thing play out that now as adults they lose that connection. I really hate to see that. But yeah, I do look forward to seeing it now. It took me a minute because the bandwagon was killing me of Harry and Meghan. I needed a break, but it's definitely on my list coming up soon. So look forward to it.
Oh, no doubt. And before we jump up off this, y'all know I got to be petty. We ain't on the petty pew tonight, but I got to pull up the petty seat, okay? I'm gonna need them royals to just go on and give it up. Harry, what is that hairstyle with that bald spot?
I think the king got an issue too, but so
They all got an issue. Just let it go.
thing.
Let it go. Look, y'all appear to have some nicely shaped heads. Unless it is written somewhere in the royal commandment that y'all not supposed to rock bald heads. Go on, let it go, y'all.
Huh? I don't know if that's more of an American thing. This was the first time that I watched something to like really dig out. Like, is that an American thing or is that a British thing? Because I do think that that's a British thing. Because if they was over here, they'd be done got their hair cut and have a hat leaning to the side. That's just me.
All the swagger. Because I was like, Harry, you a nice looking dude with the red, with the beard, and with the comb over. It's just not working for your girl. But Meghan, you love it. You like it, we love it, girl. Just that. Yeah, it's just me with the comb over chronicles. The comb over chronicles. But allow me, huh?
Not the Chronicles.
It's 3 of them. You think them boys gonna have a comb? Now, do you think that that Archie gonna inherit that? Or is Meghan's genes gonna dominate?
Well, now
it's usually maternal, so they say. What her daddy looked like, Lord.
I don't know. He had a little comb over action too. Like
I believe so.
Yeah. Poor Archie. We're gonna put you on a pew right now, and we're gonna start the wailing process so that your head shall stay.
Lord. Yeah.
At least
we're gonna speak life to every hair follicle on your head right now.
But y'all in California, so I feel like even if it is a comb over situation, Archie gonna have a better, stylist over here in the United of these States. That's all.
The United of these States.
We still on the wailing wall for Archie right now. But
we on the wailing wall. We're speaking those things. Let him so that they shall be. So that they shall be. We want that baby to have his hair. Amen and amen. Amen. So thank you all again for tuning in. It's us. It's your girl, Tilted Halo, Karen Simpson, Twisted Threads, and Naturelle D. We are the TH3. 3 of the dopest sisters you'll ever come in contact with. We are here in the building. We are having the conversation. We are getting our chuckle on. Y'all already know it's a joy tsunami whenever you log on. So as you log on, if you haven't done so already, carry your hind parts on over to the YouTube Nation. Follow, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We at Unhinged Live and Twisted Threads. Again, Unhinged Live and Twisted Threads. We want to go ahead and acknowledge those y'all who done tuned in here with us and hanging along for the ride. We moving towards the latter end of the show. Who in the room? We saw Dr. Lamar Renee Spencer. Is that her name this week? Because Facebook stay trying to play her out by changing her name.
All the time.
We want to give a huge shout out to our sister friend and Honey Harold. Sister will sing the paint off the walls. Our lovely sister Deneen Flagg Jones. All right. She may not be up in here, but one thing I noticed she did tonight was she took the time like she always does. When she sees us go live, she shares it.
There you go.
So if y'all are enjoying what y'all are hearing, go on and share it. Let the world know what we got going on over here. So you too can ride the wave of this joy tsunami with us. We talking a little bit of this. We talking a little bit of that. And of course, y'all know y'all are in the know. We want to hear from you. We want to be able to put your comments on screen.
Yeah.
and have a conversation with you as we're conversing amongst ourselves. All right. So go on over to YouTube. We're building over here yet again. And I'm telling you, it's gifts and surprises. I don't be liking to say nothing until I got the bird in my hand, because the bird in the hand beats two in the bush. But we got some exciting things coming down the pike in the very near future. All right. So yeah, enough of that station break. It's time for that segment. Yo, Natural D,
What's up?
what segment? What time is it, sis?
Oh, what's really going on?
What's really
Hey,
going on?
What's really
what's
going
really going
on?
on?
What's
Ow.
really going on?
Hey,
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 Oh.
hey, 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 what's really going on? Hey,
On,
hey, what's really going
and,
on?
and
What's really going? Oh, I'm sorry. You know, we
yeah.
testing out some things with the remixes.
ah,
What's really going on? Okay, this is the unfortunate drop that we witnessed around the world on yesterday. We watched a young, athletic Afro American brother, Damar Hamlin, take a fall
Mm.
on the football field on yesterday. I don't have a whole lot of in-depth knowledge about the footballeration, y'all, because you know I just watch, and I'm kind of happy that the Giants got a berth, all right, in the playoffs after they won this weekend. But yesterday we saw Brother Hamlin collide with a few members. We watched this brother get up after the tackle and immediately fall out. And from what has been reported, he actually went into cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
They performed CPR right there on the field,
mhm.
and had to postpone the game. All right, because we're going to talk about that too, because some people out here in this commentary world and got on my nerves disrespecting this young man in his current situation. But yes, the young man, as I just saw an update 5 minutes ago, because I've been checking on the brother all day.
Mm-hmm.
Currently in critical condition, and one of the news reports, he's on a ventilator, assisting him
Mm-hmm.
with breathing. As if we can just take a few moments of silence, and just lift some words of prayer, make some requests on behalf of this young man, who was doing some great things, not only on the field, but off the field. I want to
Yes.
honor this young man with a moment of silence, y'all. He's still here. So
Yes.
again, this isn't because he's gone. This
Yes.
is because we're telling God, Yahweh, Jah, whatever you call, we're making our requests known for this young man. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me in that. I was actually on the phone running my mouth. Shout out to the homie. You know who you are. It's on the phone, running my mouth. And that's when I was informed that they suspended the game.
Yeah.
And here I am being who I am. I'm not watching no game. I'm trying to get a piece of chicken. You know, I'm thinking it might have just been a concussion. And that's when my friend gave me the information pertaining to the seriousness of this situation. And in me seeing the replay video, I immediately thought about all my brothers and sisters who have children who play football. And I really wanted to, talk to you, Karen, in particular tonight about this, because your boys were part of the Gridiron Gang, correct?
Yeah.
Did you have any qualms, any thoughts that they could come into physical harm, perhaps experience a situation like this while they were playing?
Yeah. So we've experienced nothing like. Of course, this is a new thing for all of us. But injury on the field, yes, it happens. Definitely taxing to each individual's body, depending on what medical history that they have on and off the field. But this is literally a parent's worst nightmare, where it's like, you want to protect them from every hit. I tell people often, because I was the one that taught my boys how to tackle. So if they vicious out there, they will tell you they mama taught them that. But I also remind them, you only need to stop the play. You're not out there to kill nobody. Okay. And I don't believe that anybody does that intentionally. But when it comes to you being in the moment of the game, there are many reports, even the movie, I can't remember the movie, but Will Smith, that talked about the medical issues with concussions as well. And so I've had three of the boys who played football throughout high school, and Joseph as well, a little bit in the college area. We got about 12, 13 concussions between them. And so they usually recommend no more than one or two. And here they go, keep on going. You hold your breath the whole time. And I know this is not the first time that somebody has had, a serious injury. We done seen all kinds of stuff, but nothing like this where they had to actually resuscitate him on the field to get things right. And like literally, most people I'm sure would be like, get him off the field, take him to the hospital. That is not what you do in an emergency situation. So all of us got a lesson last night so what do you do from here? What's the next step? What are the things? When someone goes into cardiac arrest under normal circumstances, not in the middle of a stadium with I don't even know how many tens of thousands of people, it is that you have to stabilize them before you starting to move them to somewhere else. Definitely a horrific scene to be able to see that on the court, but heart definitely goes out to their family, but all of the football players, because I promise you, you talk about a praying mother. I ain't never prayed like I prayed when my boys started playing football, because it was like, dear Lord, this is supposed to be fun. And even though for these gentlemen, this is their job, this is their career, it's still the same thing. You want them to come home. You don't want them to have to deal with the medical issues that come. But it does bring to the highlight of what are the dangers of football, America's favorite pastime, and how injury kind of comes in. It definitely is a hard thing to sit through for sure. And so we get the opportunity to think about, how can we assist? What are the things? Well, we want to pray for him and all of those dudes that are out there every single week, bringing us so much joy, giving us a reason to be loud and act crazy, whatever team you're rooting for. The one thing that I will say that came out of last night is, even though I heard a couple of crazy things, far and wide, most people, no matter your team, took a moment on behalf of him yesterday, on behalf of the entire Bills organization. And that's really why we're doing this. Like, we love our teams. I promise you all day, we love our teams. But we love the sport and the people who help us get excited about it. And so this is definitely deeper. I'm sure his family, they're praying for a full-on recovery just so that he can come back home. There's a whole bunch of other people who, like, he done messed this event might have messed up somebody's fantasy football. Dear sirs and ma'ams, I need y'all to go somewhere and get y'all entire life. I said what I said. Because this is a game for us. It's real life for him. And so we want to remember his family, the cousins, the sisters, the mama, daddy. I don't know if it's any children. I don't know any of that stuff, but we want to remember all of them, because this time of waiting is definitely nail biting.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Dee, you got anything to add to the conversation, sis?
Well, as someone whose older brother played, it brings back a memory of when I went to see my brother in college. I was walking up the bleachers. We had just arrived, and I hear a crack, and I turn around, and my brother is laid out. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's a hard moment. And while my brother got up and he was fine, your heart breaks for family, because I believe his mother was there.
Ugh.
So I can only imagine how she felt in that moment. And then on top of it, as a Steeler fan, we just went through that with Shazier not too long ago. He was paralyzed
Mhm.
on the floor, on the ground. And I really hope this is the final wake-up call for people to understand what's at stake here just for our entertainment. It the reality is they're out there for their livelihood, but for our entertainment. And
Mhm.
I'm with you, Tilted. The commentary, it shows how much people are so focused on the entertainment and not the livelihood of these young men. And
Mhm.
I appreciate the words of Coach Tomlin because Damar is a Pittsburgh born and raised young man, so he's PA all day, and he took the time first thing out of his mouth because he knew him from when he was a young man. And so I appreciate what's going on across the league. You don't know who all across the league are his training partners. So we pray for
Right.
them as well. We pray for the guys who were on the field in that moment because this could bring to question their own career. So
Yeah.
you don't know how all of them feel in this moment. So it's a very sobering moment for these young men, and hearts and prayers and thoughts to them. But to bring a little bit of light to it, I don't know if you heard that a couple years ago he actually started a GoFundMe for a toy drive for his community,
Mhm.
and it was
Mhm.
goal was $2,500. It's at 5.3 million right now,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and to see people literally dropping $20,000
That part.
to this foundation and seeing the updates of the family being overwhelmed
Yeah.
at people's kindness because they recognize this is a moment.
Yeah.
He started a legacy, and so let's continue through and also pray for them as well. So I,
Mhm.
that's the one part my heart is happy to see people coming
Yes.
together and saying, no, he's more than a football player.
That's right.
Much more than a football player. And I'm glad you brought that to light, D, because now, what people used to see a young African American man with dreadlocks in his hair, with that particular color of golden blonde, and match him to a stereotype
Mm-hmm.
that has been fed to the masses year after year. Now it's unfortunate it has taken this situation to cause people to look at the light, not just the life, but the light that this young man was determined to be. Even before we were speaking his name on today,
Mm-hmm.
again, that legacy. He had a heart for community,
Yeah.
like so many others do, in the different sports leagues. But again, I too saw those numbers, D, with the foundation with the GoFundMe that he established for that toy drive. And hopefully, people will continue to pour in to things like that, not just for Damar, but for others.
Yeah.
So many people have been blessed with so much wealth. And I just think it's unfortunate that it takes a tragic situation to cause people to open their eyes and truly see what's really going on.
That's a lot.
Um, and y'all have heard me, and I think I mentioned this earlier in the season of the Unhinged radio show that I've personally not cared for the sport of football because it's so physical to me. It's almost barbaric. These men are suffering so much, the impact week after week, day after day, hour after hour. I've always had a concern for these gentlemen in their lives after football, after the Friday night lights turn out, after the Thursday night lights turn out, after the Sunday and Monday night lights are out. What happens to them medically?
Yep.
What are some of the things that they suffer in the aftermath of this level, this professional level, this high level of physical gameplay? Hmm,
Goes deep.
that's deep.
Go.
Hopefully, we'll see some of the players delve more heavily into the after the game is gone. Build some GoFundMe's, and charter some organizations that assist players in their lives after the game. And that's just my two. All
That,
right.
that's deep.
Yeah, we want to move it right along because we ain't got but so much more time.
So
I
much.
cannot end this broadcast tonight without acknowledging one of the greatest women to have ever done it. Y'all already know, before we had Oprah, there was Barbara Walters.
Mhm.
I'm going to
Yeah.
say that again. Before there was Oprah, there was Barbara Walters, who was graced enough to share her gift with us for over 40 years. She was, excuse me, over 50 years. Okay, I don't want to take no credit from this one here. She was the first female broadcaster on air. She was brought in to a team of writers back in the day. She was the token, to fill that quota. And nobody really took her seriously. So they brought her in as a writer and then a panel member in 1961 on NBC's Today Show. And then she was promoted to the first female news anchor position on an evening news program. Now, as she was reporting the news, of course, she herself became a celebrity, and we've seen her career just continue to grow and blossom over the years until she basically began to suffer dementia and had no choice but to sign off air. The last place we saw her, she was sitting alongside Whoopi them on The View.
That's
That
right.
was that was her heart, baby.
Yes.
The View. And she handpicked every single one of those women on that first. Did I say women's? Lord, I need to stay off of Instagram.
You had
Uh,
the, you had
she
the,
handpicked, huh?
you had the.
Yeah, I need to stay off of Instagram. But yeah, she handpicked those women on that show. And whoo, how many seasons is The View in right now?
I don't count no more.
And hey, I stopped counting too, but check it out. Again, before there was Oprah, there was Barbara Walters.
Yeah.
And without Oprah and without Barbara, we wouldn't be able to do what it is we're doing here on this panel tonight. We wouldn't be emboldened to do what we're doing,
So
opening our mouths, sharing our opinions boldly and unafraid and unashamed. Anybody got anything to add to the life of Miss Walters?
I'll mention, a lot of the biggest interviews. Now we get excited, and Oprah put a feather in the cap for Barbara Walters as well by talking about how Barbara not only paved the way but opened doors for her, and so to have a champion. But back in the day, it wasn't an interview if Barbara Walters didn't do it. Let me just put it right there, okay? And we're talking about, over 50 years, every celebrity, every political icon traveling across the world. One probably not well-known fact is when Michael Jackson passed away, she was like in another country somewhere. She shuffled herself on over here so that she could be with the family, not only to support them, but also people didn't mind talking to Barbara because she didn't come in with a pretentious type of way. She came in there letting you know, I care about what it is that we're discussing, and I want to know more about you. So when we talk about those listening skills and bringing them into it, like she literally was one of the best that did it, and has left marks that can't be filled, but definitely has shined the light for so many of our folks. I was watching The View last week while I was in between that time, because I don't really watch Prices Right no more like that. Anyway, but it gave a great opportunity to see how far not only she has allowed other people to go, but that platform, it wasn't what we see now. it wouldn't have ever been that had she not said yes to the opportunity to say, okay, I'm going to do this. And I know it's going to be difficult. You could imagine the stories over the last 50 years of what Barbara had to contend with, but she kept going. And now we
But
get
she
to
kept
celebrate
going.
her success. We get to celebrate her success.
Mm-hmm. See?
So she started The View in 1997.
Ooh.
Right. That
Oh.
Okay.
talk about long lasting and legacy. And then on top of it, the fact that she has interviewed every US president and first lady since Nixon. Like that,
Mind blown.
the history that she has on tape, I'm sure, is just
Mm-hmm.
it that could be a movie in and of itself. Matter of fact, they need to make that. I'm with it. Netflix
Put
special.
it out
I'm ready.
there. All right, if it hasn't already been done, because they do a lot of documentaries and things on people, biopics, and they be buried and they don't bring them to the forefront, until they've perished and they gone. They don't necessarily get their flowers while they're still amongst us. Shout out to Whitney, because I promise you, Whitney in the movie theaters right now. I haven't seen 3, 4 more Whitney movies surface.
I want to support, but I unfortunately, I need.
Exactly.
I'm like you, Naturelle D, with the Harry and Meg. I need a break before I go run up on Whitney.
Mhm.
Nippy, you doing all right? We gonna go and support the film because it's about you. But well, okay, we gonna support the project. It may not be a film when I watch it. Okay, it might be on my 55-inch. That's where it's probably gonna be. But we promise we love and support you. Can there be too many stories?
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we got too many stories. And then which Whitney? Because all of them, we like, okay, was this Whitney better than the last Whitney? That's
Right.
the only thing that I could say. It because we know the story. We were here for it. It's different for the youngest that's coming up that Whitney was only an icon to them. They don't know the story. We lived it. We saw it.
Mhm.
All of the songs, all of the singing, all of the reality shows. We saw all of it. So
Right.
this is an interesting thing. So that's the only thing I can take away. Which one of y'all did it better than the last one? But I could say all of them had some portion of her personality that they've been able to take. I have heard good things about the movie, but Barbara, we waiting to see the 50 million stories they're going. I just think they need to put a documentary together of all of the things she's already taped. Like that could be a 15-hour series right there.
Yeah, we could. That's like a 2 week,
I'm here for it. And
like
I will take off
like
from
they
work.
did back in the day.
That part, I will take off from work to watch the Barbara Walters 11. Put it on at 11 a.m. or 12. Give me during that time so that I can,
Just make sure it's not on a Sunday afternoon so I can stay awake, because y'all know.
Woo.
All right. Hmm. But in any event, thank you so much, ladies, for all of your input on tonight's conversation. Hey, y'all in the listening audience, is y'all ready for yet another wonderful reflection of purpose? I know that I am, and I'm excited to hear what our sister has to share tonight. For the first encouragement on this here platform for the year 2023. So, Karen Sims of Twisted Threads, boop, tossing the mic to you, sis.
I
Go ahead
caught
and
it.
take it away.
Here we go. I'm catching it. As always, we try to come to you with the topic, and because it is the beginning of the year, we mentioned and joked about it. We're only 3 days in, so where are we gonna start? First things first. Listen, that's the title. First things first, we need to set the priority for where we are looking to go this year. Maybe you didn't write it down last year because you needed to just get that year done. Some of us were so focused on, the goal was get to 2023. Guess what? Now we're here. Now we can celebrate. But we also need to take the opportunity to make sure that we are setting priorities to put our health first, to put our finances first. I promise you, just had this conversation with a good friend. Many of us, especially, and I can't even just say our sisters, because brothers, y'all do this too. We so busy being a savior for everybody else, and then we find that we can't even save ourselves. When we take the time to make sure that we are priority in our own lives, guess what? I'll tell you all the time, this is different than self-care. Making yourself a priority means that you're going to think about how can you give back to your community without literally robbing from Peter to pay Paul, without creating stress in your relationships with your children, with your wife, with your spouse, with your husband. We've got to be able to show up and show out, but make sure we're not losing ourselves. First things first, setting the priorities. First things first, making sure we've got the things in alignment. So if that means that I need more quiet time, maybe in your prayer time, you need more listening time. Maybe you need to get accustomed to writing things down. If you are somebody of a certain age, honey, you will think you need a cup of milk. And by the time you get to the supermarket, you done forgot what you're there for. Write those things down so you don't have to waste time. It also gives you an opportunity because you get to write in that list of priorities what you are creating for your own personal GPS. So where do you want to be by the end of the year? If you're not thinking about it and saying first things first, setting your priorities now, and then you can go through the focus and figure out what's the squad you need, who all need to come over here, who we need to lock the doors for and build the hedge wall so they don't see what we're doing over here, how we need to move in silence. All of that is after we put the first things first. That means, are you ready to set family as a priority? Are you ready to set you and your closest relationships as a priority? Are you ready to stop spending recklessly so you can actually achieve the goal of home ownership, business, entrepreneurship? All of the things, they start with you setting what your priorities are going to be for this year. Do it, y'all. We got to set what the first things first are. Why? Because throughout the rest of this year, as Tilted already said, we got things that we bring into y'all so that we keep the information flowing for all of the goals that y'all trying to set, for the goals that we're trying to set. So while you're learning, we're going to be learning right alongside you. But what do we got to do? First things first. Set the priority. And then we focus on getting to the cake. That's just me. Okay, maybe that's just me. I'm getting to the cake. That's what we're doing. Tilted. First things
I'm
first.
getting to the cake. I'm getting to the cake too because I like cake, and if because I'm an adult and I'm allowed to do things, I might eat the cake first before I have my dinner. So
You gonna eat? Yes,
I'm
yes.
gonna get my cake
You
on.
heard her.
So thank you for those meaty nuggets on tonight, Karen. We truly appreciate you and everything you bring to the table. Thank you, Naturelle D, for leaving the casino on tonight and
Yes.
making your way on over here. We appreciate you because you the bomb, Rich Auntie. You are definitely the bomb. And as we wrap it up for tonight, y'all know I got to leave you with another just be word. And for the year 2023, I'm going to encourage you all to just be focused. Just be focused. Much like a camera lens, professional photography, they got to do certain things to adjust, to make sure that whatever it is that they're looking at through that lens, it's coming through clearly. So for the year 2023, I'm going to encourage you to just be focused. And I done broke down the root word of the word focus. Focus, right? So to be focused, we want you to focus on creating undeniable success in this year. Because guess what? It's already in you. What you wavering in your belief for? Stop it. Just be focused. It's your girl, Tilted Halo, sitting alongside my good girlfriend, Karen Sims, and the lovely queen, Natural D. We are Unhinged Radio Live. And ladies, is that a wrap?
I think that's it.
All right. It's a wrap. And we is out. Peace.